What's going on, people? Back with a bang. This is the Money Mansion, back here with another video for you guys today. So today's video, how do you see the returns you'd like to see with stock options? Now, a lot of you out there, probably 97% of you out there, or 93% of you, whatever the number is, do not see returns that you'd like to see with options. And even worse, you might even be losing money with options. Now, it's very common that people start trading stock options. They want to make a lot of money because they've seen that there's a possibility of making a lot of money, and they end up losing a lot of money, which is exactly what we don't want to do around here. So in this video today, I'll be explaining how you can make more money with your options, how you can start to make a lot better gains when it comes to stock options, obviously lose a lot less money, limit your losses. Added to that, I'm going to throw in some insights about how I became a profitable trader, and also just explain some stuff you guys can do going forward. So hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how you can start making a lot more money with options, seeing the returns you'd like to see, and hopefully turn your portfolio green if it's not already green. But as always, before we do that, people, please can we drop a thumbs up on this video. It does help with YouTube algorithm. It does help with me seeing what kind of videos you guys like to see. If you like more breakdown like this, again, drop that thumbs up. Also, comment on the video. Let me know if this video was helpful to you in any sort of way. Add to that, make sure you guys share these videos with your friends, help them learn a bit more about stock options, help them learn to limit their losses, maximize their profits with stock options. And lastly but not least, let's get to 2,200 subscribers, people. Hit the beautiful red button below, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. If you're new around here, hit the red button below. If you've been around here many times but you're not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. So stock options, the beautiful world of stock options. Many of you guys know me from trading stock options. Many of you guys know me from before trading stock options. But let's talk about making money with stock options and getting the returns you'd like to see. So it's pretty simple. Let's say you want to make $100 a day or $200 a day or $500 a week, or a certain amount per year. The very first thing I say, if you want to maximize your potential returns, is actually know how much you want to make every single year or month or week. But either way, break it down to what you need to do daily to get that far. When I first started trading stock options, I wanted to make a certain amount in the year, but I didn't really break that down into how much it needed to be per month, how much it needed to be per week, how much it needed to be per day. And so what I did was just try and chase and make a lot of money as quick as possible to hopefully start moving towards the number I wanted to see. But as you guys know, when you do that kind of thing, all it does is accelerate your process to failure. So I want to reinforce this. Whatever amount you want to see per year, and it can be any amount. It can be $10,000 a year, it can be $50,000 a year. Many different things are possible with stock options, as you guys have probably seen from my videos. Whatever amount it is per year, break that down into how much you need to make per day. Because that's the very, very least you need to understand, how much you need to make per day. If you don't understand how much you need to make per day, then every day as you go into the market, you're not really sure what you're doing. So again, it can be $100 a day, it can be $200 a day. And right now, this might sound a lot to you, but I tell you what, it really isn't when you understand how stock options work, and most importantly, when you understand how to limit your losses. So that kind of brings me on to the aspect of consistency. When it comes to stock options, consistency is key. And just like anything in life, to be honest, consistency is a huge factor. So if you're watching right now, I really want you to listen up very closely right now. All you need to do to be successful and see the returns you'd like to see is stay consistent. Yes, it sounds very simple. Yes, it sounds dumb in a way that I'm saying this, but it is true. Let me ask you a quick question, a simple scenario. Have you ever been in a state where you made a bit of money one day, made a bit of money next day, but then lost all that you'd earned the first couple of days by the third day? Have you ever been in a scenario where you make good money for a few weeks straight, but then you try and outdo yourself for no reason and you lose a load of the gains you had created for the first couple of weeks? If you have been in that situation, and I have also been in that situation, then you understand why I say consistency is key and why I say it's not as easy as it sounds. If you can get to the point where you make $100 every single day consistently with stock options, so obviously 5 trading days a week, so $500 a week, $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year. That extra $24,000 can do a lot for you in your life. But how are you going to get there? It's going to be through consistency. Now, when I tell you, hey, you can make an extra $24,000 a year and have that in your pocket, you're going to say, wait, what? $24,000 a year? I'll take that. When I break it down to you and say $100 a day, you might say, that might be quite difficult. But when you start doing it, you understand it's a lot easier than you think. Now, the only hard part of that task is when consistency is put into play. Consistency, the struggle to stay consistent, is what kills a lot of traders. Now, you guys know my trading style. It's not as consistent as I would like to be, but there are traders who make a lot less than me on an option, but they stay consistent with that. They'll get 80 to 85% consistent gains, whereas I'll get maybe 60 to 65% gains. And I'm not as consistent as others. But again, it's different trading styles, which we'll get onto later. But what I'm trying to highlight is the aspect of consistency. You can get to the point where you're making $100 daily, $100 every single day. You're on the right path. If you get to the point where you make $100 today, tomorrow you push for 300 and you make it, and the next day you push for 600 or maybe 800, but then you fail and end up losing 300 or losing 400, That's where things already go wrong. It's about discipline and also staying consistent. Consistency is key when it comes to seeing the returns you like to see with stock options. So how can we stay consistent? That brings me on to my next point, strategy. Do you know what kind of strategy you have when it comes to trading stock options? Because if you want to see the returns that you desire, you have to have some sort of strategy. Do you like buying stocks when they're down 10% on a day? Do you like buying stocks before they run up at earnings? Do you like momentum trading? Do you like direction trading? Do you like technical analysis? Do you like listening to news, fundamental analysis? Do you like using indicators? Do you like using signals? Do you have screeners? What is your strategy? Is your strategy to cut after a 10% loss? Is your strategy to cut after 25% gain? What is your strategy? Because this will also help you trade. If you want to make $100 a day with stock options, but you're only trading extremely volatile stocks, and before you know it, the premium you purchased a contract with has halved it within 2 minutes, yeah, well, that's not going to give you the best feeling, and it's going to start to affect you psychologically, which does not help when it comes to trading. So what is your strategy? Do you know what your strategy is? I mean, for those of you who have purchased my stock options starter pack, you guys know exactly what my strategy is. I have a list of factors, but for those of you who haven't, do you have a list of factors? Do you know what you're looking for? Do you know how you trade? Again, I'm going to ask you, do you trade based on news? You know, some of you out there, I'm sure, hear news about a stock and you decide to go and buy that stock. And then on the next day you hear, you know, a stock is about to break out and you go and buy it because of that. Another time you might hear it's hit a double bottom and it's not going to break support. It breaks support, you don't know what to do. And you'll be a bit confused purely because you're doing too many things at once. Do you know what your strategy is? Do you have a common trading strategy? I have a common trading strategy. And so that's why when stocks are down, but they eventually reverse, I still make money with options. That is why with certain picks, I will end up getting 100% return or a 200% return, even if it was down 30, 40% the previous week, because I know what I'm looking for. I know what to expect. And of course we can't predict the markets, but if you have a strategy and a plan, it makes things a whole lot easier. And leading on from that, well, if you want to make a certain amount per day or per week or whatever, do you know what kind of trading you're doing? Are you day trading? Are you swing trading? Are you just holding long term? Are you buying leaps? Are you buying skips? I mean, some of you guys probably don't even know some of the terminology I'm using. And that might mean you need to go back to the drawing board and find out what you actually need to learn before you trade options. Because you might only need to make $500 a week and break that down to $100 a day. But if you're swing trading, then you might buy a stock which triples from day 1 to day 4. Or you might buy a stock which you expect to rise a certain percentage per day, a certain price per day, and you take profits before the end of each day, before the day closes. Of course, it does depend what your account size is, if the PDT rule does come into play. You know, different factors affect different people's portfolios. But you got to understand, are you looking for day trades? Are you entering a trade because it's a day trade? Are you entering a trade because it's a swing trade? Are you okay with holding it for 2 weeks? You need to understand what you're doing. You need to have a plan. Without a set plan, you're going to struggle. And another way you're going to struggle is if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what stocks you're buying, you don't know what options you're buying. When you're going to buy an option, let me ask you a question. If you see a 0.56 delta on the option you're looking at, do you know what that means? And to be honest, if you look at an option, do you even look to see what the delta is? Because I can guarantee you there are a lot of people out there who don't look for this kind of thing. So when you see the underlying asset, the stock of whatever option you purchased, drop $3 and your option almost halves, do you know why that happened? Did you look at the delta? Did you look at the delta to theta ratio? These are certain factors you need to pick up. These are certain factors you need to analyze before you purchase stock options. Again, I'm going to say it. I have a stock option starter pack which helps you analyze all these kind of things, and I break these things down. It's up to you if you guys can get that or not. You know, you pay $99 and you can start making maybe 100 every week from here on out. It's up to you. I mean, again, it's investing in yourself. It's finding what's going to help you make money. But I'll highlight again, it is up to you. But back to my point, when you're buying stock options, do you look at the open interest, the implied volatility? Do you buy stock options which have a high implied volatility and then after you purchase them, the implied volatility has declined, is decreased? In fact, again, do you even know what I'm talking about right now? Because if you don't, that's a worry. How are you going to make the money you like to see with stock options if you don't look at the open interest? How are you going to get in and out of trade if you don't look at the bid, the ask, the spreads? You're not going to be able to make profits. You're not going to be able to see the returns you like to see. You desire to see great returns, you have to do great things. You want to do great things, you're going to have to go back to basics. Find what you're looking at, find whichever factors have an effect on whatever options you're purchasing. I can't do it for you. You know, no matter what I trade, no matter what call outs I do or anyone does, you need to look at what time you're getting into a stock, how likely it is you can get out of that stock with profit in the right amount of time. Again, if you're limited from day trading, restricted from day trading, well, someone who's buying an option which they're going to sell in 4 hours might not be what you want to trade. Even if you get in there at the right time and you hold it the next day, by next day, It could be down again. It could be up again. It could have gone in the way you didn't want it to go. That all goes down to you understanding what you're purchasing, understanding how you can limit risk. Which brings me on to my next point. As option traders, we want to limit risk as much as possible while maximize the potential returns, maximize our gains. So how do you do this? Again, we have many factors which help us see this. The implied volatility, the open interest, the Greeks in general, the delta, the theta, the vega, the gamma. These give us a strong indication of what we're looking for and what is likely to happen with the options we purchase. Of course, nothing is certain, so these might just give you an indication and you might have the best setup in the world, but things might still go pear-shaped. We don't know that. And speaking of risk to reward, do you have a stop limit? If a stock starts to drop in price and you can't look at it because you're working the whole day, or you have 2 kids to take care of, or you're on the road, you're working with your hands, or you're doing something which stops you from looking at charts. Do you have a stop limit in case things go pear-shaped? For those of you who have done this, and I've done it myself, we hold options 2 or 3 weeks. We see our option lose 70, 80% of its value, and there's 2 or 3 days left to expiry. We still have a little bit of money there in the option. Are we still holding it, or why are we still holding it until it expires? Why are we still holding it instead of leaving with 20, 30, 40 bucks, maybe a bit more? Why are we holding it until 0 on that Friday or whenever it expires? Why are we doing that? That is not managing your risk. I had to learn that the hard way. I'd buy an option which expires in a month or 2, and by 6 weeks down the line, I have like $30, $40, $50 left after putting in 200, 300 into it, and 3 days to expiry. I'm looking at it, I'm not taking my money out, I'm not cutting losses, I'm holding it all the way to expiry. I don't know why we do that. I know many of you guys watching this do that because I've spoken to you. Why are we doing that? Why are we not limiting our losses? Why are we not cutting our losses when we're down 50% with 3 days to expiry? Without a miracle, which is very unlikely, we're not going to make that money back. Learn to cut losses on time. Learn to limit your risk. Learn to maximize your reward. If you got money in a stock option and you make a home run, you double your money. Well, are you going to take the money out and move on to something else? Or are you still holding out for longer terms to try and make more money? Because, I'll talk about that in a second, but that option that you're up 70, 80%, 1 day later, 2 days later, you can be down 10%, 20%. And now you've put yourself in a mess. Everybody who has watched my stock options starter pack course knows this is so valuable to us. And people who haven't watched it, well, I don't know if you know this or not, but your risk to reward is huge when it comes to stock options. Are you putting in half your portfolio into something because you think it's going to the moon? How much of your portfolio are you putting into something? Do you know how much you're supposed to put into something? Again, all these factors contribute to how well you do, to seeing the returns you'd like to see. So my final point I'd like to talk about in this video, I might make a part 2, a part 3, I could make a part 10 of these because I've experienced it. But now I want to talk about greed and emotion, because greed and emotion kill option traders. The option graveyard is full of people who are greedy, who traded with emotion. Let me ask you again, have you ever traded an option and you're up 100%, 120% within a couple of days, and you still have 2 or 3 weeks left to expiry? You're like, this is brilliant, I'm loving this. But the stock itself falls 3% or 4% the next day. You're like, no, I'm only up 50%. The next day it falls again, you're suddenly down 10% all of a sudden. That was greed. You get emotional. You might sell, you don't know what you're doing, or you might hold until it's expires worthless. Or you might take your money out and go and try and trade something else straight away. Again, that's emotion. Trading with emotion gets you nowhere. Being greedy, unfortunately, doesn't last long enough. You might be able to be greedy for a short period of time. Again, I've done it myself, come away with a 200% return, 250% return. But continue being greedy with every single one of your options. Eventually, the tide will turn, you'll leave with nothing. It is that simple when it comes to options. You want to see specific returns, you want to see $500 weeks, you want to see your portfolio gain 5 to 10% every single week, which is difficult, by the way. You got to be smart with it. You got to be taking those profits on time. You cannot trade with emotion. If you lose money somewhere and the stock shoots up the next day, it's fine. It happens. It happens to all of us. I've seen it happen. People who are watching this have seen it happen. The best option traders in the world have seen it happen. That's going to be part of it. But don't revenge trade. Don't trade out of emotion. Don't trade out of fear. You see a certain stock you're watching for a couple of weeks finally shoot up, maybe MVIS, and you're like, yep, I knew it was going to happen. Okay, now I'm going to jump in. 2 days later, it's down 10%, and you're like, why did I buy this option? Again, that's emotion. You need to stop trading with emotion. If you want to see the returns you desire to see in your portfolio. To get to your desired goal, your desired amount in your portfolio, it might take you weeks, it might take you months, it might take you a year or 2. But in that case, you just stop trying to make money by next week Friday. I see all these people saying, yeah, I'm going to put an option which expires in 10 days. Why? Why are you doing that? Why are you rushing yourself? What difference does it make if you make the money next week or in 3 weeks? What difference does it make? If you're in it for the long run, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. Yes, you want to have a specific amount you make each and every day or each and every week, that's fine. But why are you going to rush things? That's not going to help you. You need to understand the balance there. It's good to make money in the short term and consistently do that, but don't rush the process. Don't mess up the chance of actually coming out with gains. A lot of you forget that. It's a marathon, not a sprint. That is all it is with making money with options. It is a marathon. And again, an extra 30K per year or 24K per year is just $100 a day. I've already done that this year and it's only been, less than 4 months? Many of you guys out there can do the same thing. But you're gonna have to learn a lot of the things I talked about in today's video and actually apply them and execute on them. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure you guys go check out that stock option starter pack. Again, many people have bought it and it's gonna help you with options. I'm gonna tell you guys that again. Eventually the price will rise. I know it's undervalued right now. $99, you're gonna make that money back in a couple of days, I'm sure of it. Lastly, make sure you guys check out all the other links in the description. We have Time Gear Watches, my smartwatch company. We have a Discord where we talk about stocks. You guys can join it. Again, that is free for a limited period of time. And overall, please do comment on this video. Let me know your thoughts. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. We'll see you guys next time for another one. I got money making. You've got options to be learning. See you guys next time for another video. Peace. Game.